Welcome back to Good Day State Line. It's not always easy to talk to kids about tough subjects, but books are a very helpful tool. Tonight we are talking to Kristin about the Inspired by Book series and what they might be able to do for our families. Hi, Kristin.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yes. So tell us about your connection to the rare disease community.
Well, I am living with a rare disease, neuromyelitis optica, otherwise NMO. And, I like to advocate for the rare disease community because it's so easy for a person with a rare disease to feel like they're alone. And, that there needs to be education to others, just in general, about, rare diseases, because they do affect a lot of people.
Absolutely. And like you said, so many of the community members don't really know about these diseases, which is why they're called rare diseases. And that's when the Inspired by Book series kind of came to be. How did you become a part of it?
Well, I became a part after I started presenting my story about, how I came to have this rare disease in my journey. And I was approached by Alexia on the Inspired by Book series to, share my story with them and, talk about how it is to, again, have others who have rare diseases understand that they're not alone. And the education part too, to reach out to kids so that they can, understand that, what the situation is with a person living with a rare disease.
So how does it feel to know that your story is helping others understand what it's like?
It's a great feeling because education is so important to me. Just in my life, it has been, and it's so great to be able to reach out to kids, because as a mother of two girls, it's difficult to bring bring your information to them at a level that they can understand, and then give them the opportunity to be able to ask questions back after they can understand it on their level.
I think that's so true too, and especially when you're given a book, you do get more of a complete story than if you're just talking about either the disease in general or somebody you maybe know, so the book is such a great opportunity for kids. And I know that the artwork behind you is actually a part of your book, and you drew it, right?
I did. I painted that, yes. Shortly after I was diagnosed, I was paralyzed from the chest down, and I was in a wheelchair. And so I needed an outlet. And so I started painting, and I painted this angel, and she is my guardian angel.
Wow, that's so awesome. What is your favorite part of the book?
My favorite part is, it's kind of two-part. So Henry is my favorite character because I associate with him mostly in terms of my rare disease, because, you can't really see all of his symptoms. And so, you have to educate others and tell them, hey, this is going to hurt me. And so, we'll have to be careful. So, I really associate with that. But, I like it when Zara comes in because she finally feels like she's not alone, and that's important.
Absolutely. And I'm guessing that's one of the things you hope that kids and families learn from these books. What advice do you give families who are trying to, inform their kids about all this stuff going on and how they can use these books?
Well, definitely, sit down with the children and your child or whatever child and read the book with them. And, maybe try to start some questions, or maybe the kids will have questions of their own. And it's, that way it's a good educational tool for them.
Absolutely. So where can we get our hands on these Inspired by books?
Absolutely. If you go to alexioninspiredbybooks.com. You will see the 3 books that are available, and you can get one for free.
Oh, okay. That sounds great. Well, Kristin, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. It was my pleasure.
We'll be right back with more Good Day Stateline.